opportunity me to actually be present and be part of this webinar. So thank you so much for that. Before I give you a bit of background or go into the past, I would like to also take this opportunity to remember one of the founders of our college, Pratap Burade sir, the man who I connected post my engineering days, and I was fortunate to spend some time with him recently. And thank you, sir, for giving all of us such a beautiful platform to flourish. Um, so, coming to your question, ma'am, on my days at JNEC, it's been like almost 20 years now, feels a lot more than 20 years actually, where the first day of my college was like I still remember we had a small cafe outside the campus where the students used to hang out. And I just got very fascinated with that kind of a culture because in Aurangabad, having such kind of open culture was very rare. So coming to the college itself on the first day was kind of a excitement, but as well as nervousness. But before my college, actually, as you remember that now it's not there, but we used to go to Nanded to get our seats. And the first round, I got a seat in PS College. And in fact, I went there with my friend for 1 week, and I really didn't like the college at all, just because of the campus and the whole structure was not fitting. So I tried again, went for the second round to Nanded in a train, and then I finally got JNEC. So obviously now it's more seamless. You don't have to travel anywhere. It's all online. You get to choose which one you want according to your merit. But those days, there was things were different. Um, I remember also like in terms of the uniform, which was again one of the highlights of our initial days. And now also I can see all our students in blue jeans and white t-shirt shirts, which is fascinating. And it reminds me of my conversation with Burare sir, like the thought process he had during that time, basically saying that whether you are a girl or boy, you have to wear the same uniform. And it just gives a bit of equality sense from the start. These are small things, and he shared a lot of memories from him as in terms of why things were done. So yeah, so initial days, I think our college for me was very exciting. Um, we didn't, I won't say that there was ragging at all in the college, but we used to always fear going to cafe by ourselves. So we used to actually, we knew a few of our seniors, so they used to always take us to the cafe, and they used to, you know, not protect, but kind of support us in that aspect. Um, so that was our initial thing in terms of my view of or memories from the college. Obviously, um, the college, the first year is pretty much everyone is in FE and they have same course across the time. I still believe that might be the case. There might be some change. But I think the first year for us was kind of a building a foundation, a co-foundation in terms of how we are going to work, the first year for us who we are going to work with, understanding the faculty, understanding the coursework, but also it was such a beautiful thing that when you are coming into a new world, from a world of school to a world of college graduation, the warmth which JNEC, now MGM, you provided was excellent. Like we used to have blossoms. Not sure what the blossoms are there, but I think that was also one thing which is really in our memories, that the welcoming of our seniors to our juniors, coming to a new world where you will be setting up your own foundation, your own careers, and at the same time enjoying the process. So Blossoms used to be again a very new thing for us, where we used to showcase our talent, whether it's singing, dancing, or fashion show, and also there were games, right? So there was games. So it's kind of a package which we got not only from an academic point of view, but also sports extracurricular point of view, which is very important to have, and it has actually provided a lot of confidence in all of us. So yeah, the first year was kind of building a core foundation for us, ma'am. Yeah.
So I was also like trying to recollect your days of blossoms here. So now we
Right.
don't have blossoms anymore, but we do have razzmatazz. Last year we did that, I think in the month of March, April itself.
Yep.
And I believe you also were on the student council.
Yes.
So I now again we are going to start that like practice here at the university level now. We will be having a student council at MGM University now, and we
Right.
will have representation from all institutes. So JNEC, since is the largest unit of this university, will have a reasonably larger like share in that student council of the university. So
Fantastic.
I want you to speak about that experience also when you were on the other side, being like you I think held one of the key positions on student council.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, so I was the cultural secretary in year four, and that itself, the process of actually selecting cultural secretary was quite fascinating, because we used to have the process was pretty much like you need to interview yourself. So it's kind of, going into a corporate world where you are sitting in front of a recruiter, and they ask questions and you respond. So I still remember SD Deshmukh sir was the principal that time, and we had all the teachers sitting in front of us, and you need to nominate yourself for that. And they ask questions like, what is your vision? What are you going to bring new things into the college? How are you going to organize, perform? And you need to respond to that, right? So that was a first taste kind of a kind of a warm up or practice to get into a corporate world. And so fortunately, I got selected as a cultural secretary in year four. And what it actually also gave us, not only me, but also the entire team who was part of the cultural team, is how to organize the events, how to organize in terms of budget, how to organize in terms of what events you want to plan out your whole calendar. Then also how to actually make sure that everyone is getting a chance to present themselves and perform. So cultural secretary was actually is one of my, I would say, the main driver of confidence, just in terms of building that level of organization skills, and also performing. And I must say that it wasn't easy, because if it's easy, then it's quite boring, I would say. So it was very exciting. We used to have I still remember there, we used to, I think it was a science block. It was a block where, mechanical block, where we have the announcement where we used to call the events out. We used to make sure that everybody is on time. And also, when we were actually the event itself, that event used to be running for at least 5 o'clock in the morning. And before coming to this college, I knew that JNEC has such kind of events, and I was like, I need to get into this college because they have such a beautiful event. And nowhere in Maharashtra or in India, that kind of event used to be taken place. When I used to speak to my friends who were in Pune, VIT, NITs, and they said like, this is like incredible. Like, how can a college perform on such a wide level, and have so many events in a year? And then I used to still remember that each group, whether it's fashion show or whether it's dance or whether it's singing, they used to come every morning at 6 o'clock, perform, practice, and then the actual day they used to deliver. So it's there are multiple levels of kind of a learning you can do. One is team building, one is disciplines, one is organization skills, and one is the performance itself. And it was one of our best days. Obviously, everyone will say that this was the best days, but for me and also my friends who I'm connected with, they say that the best 4 years of their life was in JNEC. And I hope you also, all the students out here, are also considering the same thing. Obviously, ma'am is just mentioning about JNEC is part of a wider organization, so it's a bigger platform for you to perform, and you just need to go and participate. Don't hold yourself up, because if you participate, you will feel that excitement, that preparations which will come through, and the discipline which will come through.
That's that. Actually, I was visualizing how were those days when you people used to do the gathering here, and it still is happening at that scale itself. It's just
Right.
that trends have changed, and there are some changes in the activities which students conduct nowadays. Otherwise,
Yeah.
the motivation, everything, rest, everything, enjoyment, everything is same. It is at the larger, grander scale now. I can say that.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Okay, moving forward, let me start with your professional journey. So, if you can share your early experiences and maybe few challenges you might have faced while you started with your career.
Right. Yeah, sure. So yeah, the first challenge I was facing was I was not in the cutoff place for sitting in the placements. So that was the first challenge. So I was like, I missed by a couple of percentage. And I said, like, all my friends, like most of my friends were actually getting into the placements, and I was feeling like, oh, okay, now what next for me? Um, but fortunately, I actually got a opportunity in Videocon, and in Videocon, I was always we had done a project in third year around SAP. That was a new term for us, but I had a bit of an understanding of SAP that time. So that really helped me to do an interview in Videocon and got through my interview in Videocon. And it was kind of also helpful because I was still in Aurangabad. I've been born and brought up in Aurangabad, and I was like not very comfortable leaving Aurangabad at that time. So in Videocon, I worked as a SAP consultant for 3 years. And after working in Videocon for 3 years, I thought like now I'm getting a bit complacent in my job and also in my life, because I was kind of coming home, going to work, being with my parents, and I had a good life. Like I won't complain, but I was being complacent, and I realized very quickly that if you're complacent in your life and you become comfortable, then I think your growth somewhere lags, and you need to really start moving. So after Vidicon, I started interviewing outside Aurangabad, and my next job was in Mumbai, Colgate Palmolive, and I think that was a changing momentum for me. It was the biggest change I had ever done, and I still feel that that's the biggest change, because leaving your parents, leaving your home, leaving all what you have seen for 25 years, and going to a new place, it's a big change. But that change actually helped me to move on and start looking to new things, start learning new things, start making new relationships, and also understanding the world. And Mumbai was a place where I did visit a few times, but Mumbai was new to me. And the first 3 days was horrible. Like I was not able to sleep. I was, I thought like I made the worst decision in my life. I wanted to go back to my parents, to my place, but I was fortunate with my mentors, and one of my mentors, my brother, elder brother. I called him and I said, "Anna, it's not working. I need to come back." And he said, like, just give some more time, take some more time, see how it goes, and if it doesn't work, just come. But after 3 days, 1 week passed through. I made friends. I started working. I liked the work, and then I didn't look back. And then after Mumbai, um, I was always fascinated to go abroad, and that is something which I always felt like, if you really want to achieve something, you really want to think and visualize that you're going to do that. And and I think that I'm saying that because I now am evaluating how I did it. I had no chance of going to London. because the visa process was very difficult. But at that time, London had offered HSMP, which is a highly skilled migrant visa, and I did everything to get that through. The first time round, I didn't get through. The second I applied, I didn't get through. And finally, the third time when I applied, I got the job. I got the visa, sorry. But again, that was a big risk because when I had a really good job in Colgate, I was doing pretty good in terms of remuneration. And Colgate was a global company, so it was giving me all the promotions and whatever what was required. But again, I said like I'm getting complacent after 3 years. I'm not suggesting that you should jump jobs, but if you feel that you're not being challenged in your work, you need to ask your managers that I want more work, I want more challenging. So at that time, I felt like Colgate was not giving me that challenges. So, and London was something which I was really fascinated to go through. And the visa was pretty much the same where you can come to the country and you can apply for the job. So having a good salary job in Mumbai, going to London with no job, just the visa, again, a question mark in my life whether I'm taking the right decision. And I just want to say one thing out here. Everyone in every time in your life, there will be a point where you need to decide between A and B. And your brain actually works in a way that it will always choose a simpler path. It will always choose A because that's the most easiest path to do. But I would say that always choose a path which is harder, which is difficult to do, because once you do that, your growth will be exponential. So this was my A and B time when I went there. And after London, it took me almost 40 days to get a job. My parents used to call, my friends, my cousins used to say, "What's happening?" I said, "Don't worry, I'll get it, I'll get it, I'll get it." So I was just building confidence in me that no matter what happens, like, people will say, people will be saying in a concerned way, people will be saying like you did a wrong thing and all. Just believe in yourself, trust your gut, trust your mind, trust your heart. And if you do that, you will definitely achieve it. And after London, I got a job in 35 days or so, and I worked there for a year. But I soon realized that London is too cold for me, and I was not able to enjoy because I was playing cricket that time as well. So I was doing work, playing cricket, and could not play that much. So I started moving and started researching for it, and then I started on Sunday night. I still remember I went on LinkedIn and started searching jobs all over world. And then there was a small place where I said like, let's try this place, and it was New Zealand. And I applied for that job. It was in same SAP space, and I got a call next morning saying that, look, we want to interview you. I went through the interview process, and they liked me, and they said like, we would like you to come to New Zealand, in Auckland. And again, then I said like, fine, I'll come. And then I went to Auckland for 2 years, and after Auckland, in 2012 is when I got married, and then and my wife, she's also from JNEC. She's in fact, she was my junior. I always say that she was my junior in college, but she's my senior now. So she went to US. I was in New Zealand. We stayed apart from 2 years, and then we wanted to move on, and she could not come to New Zealand because New Zealand was very, very small for her job profile. So we thought either I go to US or we find a new place. So in Australia was something which we really liked. We both liked. So I applied for Australia and I got the job there. And then in Australia she joined me. And then yeah, from there on, I worked for 1 year, I worked for 3 years there, and then I started to say that okay, now it's a time where I really want to explore and start my own business. And because I've got almost 12 years of SAP experience, and again, I always say it was a point where I have to choose between A and B because A was really good. I was really getting good experience and all, but it was not challenging. So left the job, started my own company with my two friends in SAP, and that company is now 8 years old, and we are doing quite good. We are a global SAP consultancy firm, and we've got an office in Australia. In Australia, we've got three offices. We've got office in Malaysia. We have an office in India as well, and we are building a global competence center now. And I'm working with ma'am and your training and placement to see how I can provide and support and find a foundation for you guys as well. So yeah, that's been a journey, and within that time span, ma'am, we also started two other companies. One is in AI. Recently, 2 years back, just over COVID period, and other one is a blockchain company. So yeah, that's pretty much the I would say 14 years of my life in customer.
So that's a pretty learning experience, like going from one country to another country, again finding new opportunities, new, actually everything new, new cultures, learning about new cultures, then adjusting to new cultures. So I think it's a pretty interesting journey so far. So now looking at your like wide range of experience, starting your journey with the videocon, as I think you have ever been in the like domain of SAP. I think you started your career with SAP. Then I think for some period you were with you were doing some CRM also, and I think still you are doing SAP and CRM both.
Yes.
So like what mindset? If I ask you very specifically, what mindset, skill, and say core competencies help you achieve all these, like I'll say, different milestones of your professional journey so far? So if you can just throw some light on the kind of mindset you have had, then the skills and some maybe competencies, so that the students can also take some inputs from that part of your professional journey.
Sure. I think I can phrase this into four milestones. I feel, and it can reflect in terms of 4 years of engineering, and how this 4 years of engineering can be placed into a milestone which helped my mindset. I think starting from year one is pretty much building a core foundation. So when I look back with our engineering days, you have got all the subjects which are there, right from mechanical to electronics, electrical, IT, computer science, um, and you pretty much have to learn all those things, right? And it is not easy. It is challenging, but you're building your core in year one, and at the same time, you're also experiencing build kind of a relationship with your friends, with your faculty, and that becomes your base. Now, after that, obviously, year two is something where you're understanding the basics of your specialized course, is where you actually would like to say that, okay, I've got this variety of subjects and I want to focus on one or two of them. Back then, when we were doing engineering, we didn't have that kind of clarity. But I think as the technology is evolving, we should be able to focus on the things which will be very much interesting. Not because everyone is doing. Never follow hurt, right? If everyone is doing, there is something you should not. But at the same time, you need to also understand from area where it will enhance your future. So what I'm trying to say is that do what you like, uh, and if you do that with honesty, it will reflect in your work. And one of the quotes I was just hearing is like, to kill a competition, you need to be authentic. Authenticity is the key. So year two is where you understand the basics and identify where your area of interest will be. Once you do that, year three is where you master. For me, this is a time where I actually identified and explore SAP, because that was very new at that stage. We used to hear that SAP is an ERP solution, and it's one of the biggest ERP giants in the world. And I came across SAP during our project work, where we actually explored a bit with my friends, and I started getting fascinated in CRM, because that was something which was very, very interesting for me, the customer relationship management, because that is where I could say that I can understand what the sales process is. I understand the service side of things. I understand the marketing, and I understand the technology side of things. And then I started researching on SAP a lot. And then I did the project on SAP. It was pretty basic project, but it gave me a kind of upper hand of exploring that particular technology. And that really helped me in my fourth year, where I again expanded my expertise in SAP and explored a bit more about SAP. And fourth year, I would say, is something where you will lead, uh, and a it becomes an area where you would like to expand your mastering. So if you've identified any subject area where you want to do, I would say start from year two, master in year three, and lead in layer four. But at the same time, you need to enjoy the process, and you need to trust. You need to trust your gut. You need to trust your mind, your heart, and you need to say that yes, I want to do this, not because everyone is doing, but I believe in this particular technology, and I'm 100% sure and confident that if you are honest in your work, in your discipline, you will be achieving great outcome. But don't worry about the outcome. Outcome will happen. Just trust the process and go through the the difficulty side of things. So yeah. So I think, yeah, SAP is something which actually helped me to achieve what I'm here. But if I reflect back, it is something which JNEC has provided me to explore through the projects.
So that looks pretty interesting. I was actually reading about your like where you were a co-founder about your organization BRANG. So, so if you
Yeah,
can just give a brief idea about what kind of technology is being used in that organization to provide the kind of solutions you are providing, so that these
yeah,
students also get some insight, and I think they can also explore that area as a career for them.
sure, sure. So just to give you a bit of background in terms of BRANG, so it's called BRANG chain at this stage now. So we started this in COVID time. So because we have the consultancy um, organization which is working towards SAP, me and my friends were actually had a brainstorming session in terms of what are the areas we need to explore from a technology side, and how can a technology empower the society. um, and we wanted to build something where we are helping um, the society through a technology. And then there were multiple business use cases which we have done, but at that time during COVID, what we realized that there was the last mile delivery services in Australia. It was not there. So was not there in the sense, um, every delivery used to come 3 days after you order, and that was in COVID. And no deliveries on the weekends. So we said, like let's create a platform where we can provide a 4-hour delivery service in Australia, and that was pretty unheard of. And I'm pretty sure India's way ahead in terms of technology and also in terms of delivery. And now you can order anything within 15 minutes, so that's a new norm. But during COVID, that wasn't the case. And still in Australia, there's pretty much hardly any player who are doing a 4-hour delivery. So we created this platform during COVID, just understanding that at that time everyone was home, everybody wanted something or the other, and they could not go out. It was quite strict in terms of restrictions and all. So this really took off well, and the technology which we are using that time was an AI-based technology. So we had developers who developed a AI-based tool which will be able to cater to all the demands which are coming from the customer, and then assigning those demands to our drivers, and then identifying who's the best driver through our AI driven. And through our AI, we are also doing a routing where we can find the quickest way and the most economical way to deliver our products. And as we are exponentially growing, we have also in fact introduced blockchain technology into this. So now we are pretty much very specific to providing last mile delivery to pharmaceuticals, because in the world at this stage, whatever you order, the authenticity of who has ordered is not there. And pharmacy, if you consider that if you've ordered a highly regulated medicine, and you need to actually provide a proof that Madhup has ordered XYZ drugs and I'm the one who's receiving it. So there was no platform who was able to do that. Through blockchain, we have solved that platform, and now we are specializing in deliveries pharmacy in Australia. And it has been a good journey because we are now in a stage of global expansion. Yeah, we are pretty much building in Australia, but we need more developers. We need more developers in AI. We need more developers in blockchain, and we need more developers in mobile apps as well, including website development and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's pretty much our technology stack. What we're using, we're using AWS for as a database, and we are using Matic as a blockchain solution, and we use a lot of Python-based AI tools for developing our AI technology. Yeah.
I think, in fact, I got a lot of insights on what technologies like students can work upon right away by listening to what kind of technologies your organization is using. Like I think we have introduction, or rather to intermediate level, I'll say that we are teaching them in their curriculum. Like we have some part of AI based tools we are teaching them. Then we also have introduced a track on blockchain. Then mobile apps and website apps, they have already been doing it starting from their first year.
Right.
And even Python also, I think we have started teaching that from pretty some time now. So I think that's a good insight for students also to like work upon, like they can build their careers into these domains actually.
Yep.
Okay, so I think I have tried exploring your experience from different perspectives as I look at you as an alumni also, even as a dear student also. And now I want students to come up with some questions now. So I'm now making the forum open to students. So like students, you can I think put on your mic from the classes from wherever you are sitting, and you can ask your questions one by one. So I think we can start with maybe I hope you remember Budwan sir. You met him last when you visited him. He is also there in one of the classes.
Yes. So, yes. Also, I can't see you, but yes, I hope you're good.
Yes, he's there.
Oh yes, I can see.
Yes. So sir, you can ask. You can tell students if they want to ask some question. Any question you can ask, and trust me, there is nothing called as a silly question. Anybody, it's not necessary that we have to start with that class only. Any class, even we have a mix of students. We have students from mechanical engineering also, chemical engineering also for that matter. So you can ask your questions. You know, classrooms never change, you know? They are still that, they're in that shy face. Who will ask?
Who is the first person to ask, right?
Yes, yes.
You can ask me anything about sports or anything about Australia and London or my experience in the past.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Uh, there is a question from third year students of electrical and computer engineering branch.
Hello, sir. My name is Jay Kumar from Electrical Branch. I have a question for you. For the SAP, what should which languages we must study or get common on them? Example, Python,
So if
Java.
I get your question correct, you wanted to understand what languages you would like to study in terms of technology. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Right. So I think at the moment, like obviously Java is pretty much rapidly being used in SAP. We've got .NET as well. And then in terms of AI, Python is very popular and been used widely in the space. Um, from a blockchain point of view, that is something very exciting, in blockchain area. And blockchain is pretty much very simple programming language, but its usage can be very powerful. So these are few of the technologies which are really important. Apart from that, in mobile development, React Native are are very I would say common languages which have been used into our space. And in terms of website development, obviously those are quite basic in terms of how you design a website. But one of the very important and I'm really passionate about that is the UI and UX side of things. They are not languages, but they are a kind of a standards which are very important to understand. Everyone, like you don't have to be a developer for that. UI UX is something which is if you can really master that skill, that is highly in demand at this stage, and that will always help you to convert a complex scenarios into a simpler one. And that is a challenge, right? So if you see over UI UX, if you see your Zepto, I think Zepto is a few of the apps in India, which are really simple. So there's a lot of scientific work being done in this various space, like how to reduce the clicks and how to have a very seamless navigation. That is the necessity. Will help you in any field which you go. Obviously, programming backend databases are on the backend. But if you master UI and have a programming background, which is your front end plus your back end development skills, I think you will definitely have a lot of opportunities in the market to flourish. And obviously, SAP is one of the biggest technology which is been really been used exponentially. Then there are Salesforce again, that is again a big competitor, Microsoft. All these technology companies rely on the technology which I've just spoken about. And having those, obviously I'm getting a bit more detail into certifications and all, but if you get a chance of getting certified in these areas, it will always help in your profiling. Because if you are certified, it just says that you are done all the basics and you are ready to deliver. So certification initial level of your career is very important.
I hope that answers your question. Any other question from any other class? It seems they got lot of insights, and the kind of conversation we had, I think it gave them some guidelines on what to learn, and how they can start thinking about their careers in the long run.
I hope I have provided you that information. Yeah. So I think also I would just say that look, these are your best years in your life, right? This will never come back. So make the most of it. Every time you get up in the morning, you should be very thrilled, excited to get out of the bed, right? Because this will never come. So, and I and all the alumni from all alumni we have, I can say that everyone of everyone of us just relish the 4 years we have spent in JNEC, because that is your foundation. That is what it has created us. And whatever I'm at this stage, I would definitely say that JNEC is one of the main, um, platform to get me what I'm here at this stage. And having faculty like Ma'am, Budwan sir, who's there as well, and also others who I've met recently. Love to see them all there, still working, still providing such a good framework for you guys. So very, very excited about the future of MGM as well in this area.
Thank you, Madhu. Thank you for those closing remarks also. Before I could say that you have given good closing remarks also to the students. And I hope that we work out what we have started during your last visit here. So we'll work it out, and I hope that some of these students join that. It's a very brilliant idea actually. So thank you so much for joining us and spending your good time with us. It's a good start for the students here. It's the morning hours here.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Madhu, and thank you to all the coordinators for arranging this session for the students. I hope they have taken good insights from the session. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Madhu. See you soon.
Thanks
on
a
the
lot,
campus.
and thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy your day. I'll speak to you soon, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Bye.